Hello students, myself K.M. Jha, lecturer VPMP Polytechnic Gandhinagar. I am here again with the subject programming in C++. Code of the subject is 3330702. Unit name is function in C++ and working with objects. The topic that I am going to talk here is inline function, define functions using default and constant arguments, as well as function overloading. Objective of the presentation is inline function. We will talk about inline function, then define functions using default as well as constant argument. We will also talk about the function overloading. We will see the example of it. Now about the introduction of all the three things that we had talked about in objective. This is inline function. Now what is inline function? It is a function that is expanded in line, as the name is inline function. It is expanded in line when it is called. A default argument, it is a value provided in a function declaration that is automatically assigned by the compiler if the caller of the function does not provide a value. If caller of the function does not provide any value, then default argument, it is a value that is going to be provided to the compiler automatically. The qualifier constant or constant argument tells the compiler that the value of the argument cannot be modified. So the basic difference between default argument and constant argument is that default argument can be changed, but constant argument, the values of the constant argument cannot be changed. It cannot be modified. And if you are doing this anyhow, then compiler will generate a error. Now about the function overloading, it is a feature in C++ where two or more functions can have same name but the parameters are different. It means that they are performing different tasks. So function overloading can be considered, it is an example of polymorphism which is part of object-oriented programming feature. So when we are talking about function overloading, actually C++ language, it follows the concept of polymorphism. Inline function, as I said, an inline function, it is a function which is expanded in line when it is invoked. It means when it is called. The compiler replaces the function call with the function code. And here the inline function saves, why we are using it? Because inline function, it saves the time of calling function, saving registers, etc. It is similar to preprocessor macros, but there are little differences also. So what actually is not going to be done by inline function? If a loop, a switch or goto exists, if a function is not returning any value or contains static variable, if it is a recursive function, then the function does not work as an inline function. In such cases, inline function does not work. If function has very few lines of code and simple expression, then and then only it should be used as a inline function. As I said, if a function has very few lines of code, if the lines of code are very less and the expression is very simple, then and then only it is going to be used as a inline function. In these cases, the three I have highlighted here, inline function cannot be used. This is the example of inline function. You can see here, this is the name of the function is cube, return type is integer, and here the keyword that is associated with the function is inline. You can also see here the expression is very simple and it is in a single line, and that's why you can call it as a inline function. So whenever this function is called, it will execute a single simple expression, and that's why it is one of the good example of inline function. These are the advantages as well as disadvantages of inline function. It reduces execution time, it increases the readability and strong type checking, sensitivity is there. So it increases the size of file. These are few disadvantages also. It increases the size of file. Function definition should appear before function call. As there are advantages, there are few disadvantages also that we will have to look out. Now about the default argument that we will talk, as the name is default. So default values are specified when the function is declared. We will see here the example. As you can see here in this example, a is equal to 0 and b is equal to 0. So default values are always declared from right to left. So as the name of the function is here f, the two parameters are here, a is equal to and b is equal to 0. This is main function. As I said, we must add default arguments from right to left. We cannot provide a default value to a particular argument. In the middle of an argument, you cannot provide the default argument. So the values are same if you are not providing any values. So here you can see the function name is f. Here there are no parameter. Here there is only one parameter. Here there are two parameters. But you can see here when the first function f is called with no parameter, but as the default values are assigned, a is equal to 0 and b is equal to 0 is automatically called here along with this function. And when the second function is called f, although there is only one parameter, but we have already declared b also here as a default argument, so it will consider the value of b as 0. But yes, we can modify the default values of a. Here we have modified the argument a. Similarly, here also we have modified the value of a and b. So you can see here the value of a is 10 and b is equal to 99. So in case of default argument, you can modify the values, which is not possible when we are talking about the constant argument. We will see the example of constant argument. The only difference is that here we are applying the keyword const. Const is the keyword that is along with the variable name whenever we are applying it along with the function name. As it is the argument, so automatically we will have to understand it is associated with function. But you will have to remember if there is const keyword, then only it will consider it as a constant argument. Here you can see here the example. This is float area const float r. It means this variable r, it is declared as a constant argument, okay, but it is associated with function area. So name of the function is here area, and this is the parameter or constant argument. Constant argument is here r. This is the example that you can see. As I said, in case of constant argument, you cannot change the value. So when we have tried here to increment the value of x, compiler will generate the error, and that's why here in the comment section it is written invalid. But you can assign the value of x to y, so it is valid. So constant argument cannot modify, but as far as the default argument is concerned, the values can be modified. I hope it is understood by everyone. This is const keyword that is associated with the variable along with the function name. Now we will talk about the function overloading. It is one of the very important topic, and every time it is going to be asked in the exam. So make it very clear why the name is function overloading. C++ allows overloading of function. It means the same function along with the different parameter list, only the purpose and task has been changing. So the definition is here, when multiple function, name of the function is same, but why we are calling it as a multiple function? Because the list of parameters or the argument list is keep on changing, and as it is changing, the task and purpose is also changes, and that's why it is known as function overloading. We will see here the example. Let us see the example. Here you can see in this example, the name of the function is area. Name of the function is area. Here one parameter is there, only one parameter. Here you can see two parameters are there, length and breadth, and here only we are having r. Although the name of the function is same, but the same area function we can use to calculate the area of a circle, and same area function we can use to compute area of a rectangle. Also we can use to find out the area of a triangle, as well as any any shape wherever whichever you are interested. So by using the same function, you are able to perform the different tasks as well as behavior is changing. Okay, the purpose is changing, but the name of the function is same. So you can see here name of the function is area, here area, but the parameter is changing, here 2, here 1, and this function we are using here, the task is change. Here we are using it for, yes, we are using it to calculate the area of a circle. Similarly, the same function along with the different parameter list, it is used to calculate area of a rectangle, and that's why this function is overloaded, because earlier it was loaded with one parameter, now it is loaded with 2 parameters. It is possible you can load the same function with 3 parameters. It is also possible you cannot use any parameter, and that's why the name is function overloading. One function is loaded with so many parameters, and that's why the name is overloading of function. This is the main part where you can enter the value of radius and length and breadth is entered here, and you will get here the functions has been called. Which function is called? Area is called here along with the single parameter. Here area is called with the 2 parameter. This is the main part. I hope it is clear to everyone why the name is function overloading. Thank you so much for watching this video. Keep watching the video for the next consecutive part of C++. Thank you again.